All three expressions have negative exponents, so if you guys remember from class, I told you to ignore the negative exponent, rewrite it as a positive exponent, evaluate, and then negative exponent just means find the reciprocal of your positive exponent value. So in the end, we need to take the reciprocal of the positive exponent. Alright, so ignoring the negative, 8 squared, if I expand, would be 8 times 8, which is 64. And because it was a negative exponent, I just take 64 and find the reciprocal of that. So that would be 1 over 64. You're just interchanging the numerator and denominator. So if you had to make 64 a fraction, you would put a 1 under it, and then you would flip the fraction to be 1 over 64. Part B, again, 3/4, ignore the negative, 3/4 squared. So if I expand this, it's 3/4 times 3/4. You're writing 3/4 twice. To multiply fractions, you multiply straight across. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16. This would be my value if it were a positive exponent. Because it's negative, I take this and interchange the numerator and denominator, or in other words, find the reciprocal. So it would be 16/9. Okay, for my last one, again, ignore the negative exponent, so it's 25 to the 3/2. So if you ever have a fractional exponent, you're going to rewrite it as a root. 25 is going to be on the inside. If you remember, your 2 is your index of your root. And usually you don't write a 2 if it's a square root, but we'll just write it anyway. And then the numerator, I'm trying to get a different color here. The numerator, which is a 3, that represents what you're going to raise your answer to once you take the square root of 25. You raise it to a power of 3. So the square root of 25 is 5, and we're going to raise that to a power of 3. 5 raised to the third power is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. So because it was a negative exponent, I take 125 and find the reciprocal, so it's 1 over 125.